Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Empress Aries 888. My name is Tanya. But please like on the way in. It gives me an energetic donation to the channel, helps me tune into you. These are collective readings, any energy, any sign. Flip the roles as you see fit. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And let's call in spirit. Let's get this party started, shall we? Spirit guides and angels of your whitest light, please give me a clear message for the collective, one that brings healing, hope, and understanding of this situation. Protect me as I open myself up to channel these messages and protect my beautiful collective. Well, thank you so much, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, for tuning in, showing up. And really, this is collective in the sense of the energy exchange. So I certainly do thank you for that. But also for those that really do get a message out of this, those that tune in and are loyal to my channel, I certainly do thank you very much for that, as I am loyal to you. And I wish you every blessing, sincerely. This reading today is going to be for those of us that feel misunderstood in life in general. Have you ever felt like that? Like you were always like the outsider, the black sheep, the one that was targeted, the one that was never truly understood. Maybe you stood out even if you didn't want to, energetically speaking, of course. Maybe you didn't see that in yourself. You didn't see yourself standing out, but other people did, and they picked on you, made fun of you, laughed at you. You were different. Maybe you didn't quite understand why you were so different. Maybe you tried to shrink to fit in with people, like your family, in fact, when everyone turned their back on you. There was a lot of disappointments, heartbreak, and rejection. This message, my love, is for you. As the song from Michael Jackson says, you are not alone. I am here with you. Though we're far apart, you're always in my heart. And I feel like that's a message not just from your ancestors, but I also feel like it's from the divine himself. You're not alone. He's always been with you. But I feel like in a family dynamic, you have always been misunderstood and maybe even blackballed, as they call it, or what is it, pushed out into the fringes of the family. Whether it's a family that you grew up with or a family that you created with somebody else, I feel like you were always misunderstood. I pulled some cards here for clarifiers that, I was pre-shuffling, and the overall energy here, well, I'll show you. What here, the first card is never make time for them. They should understand you're busy. Okay, that's one of them. Second, never be there for them. They should be able to handle their own problems. Last one, always be the center of attention. It's where you belong. So with these three cards, I feel like this is children. This is children, and it's definitely a family dynamic. It could be whether it's your brothers or sisters that always felt you were a center of attention, whether it's your kids that thought you care more about the spotlight, or you care more about people giving you attention than giving them attention. I feel like there's a misunderstanding here. Now, this could sound like, yeah, you need to work on something because you're being a bad parent too. For some people, we need to look inward as to if this is how our children feel, then we should address it, right? But I feel like there's more to this story, as it often is, than meets the eye with this. So as I pulled more cards for clarifiers of these three particular cards, I got the Six of Swords, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You had to move on to clearer waters, calmer waters, I should say, calmer waters. Okay, because Six of Cups is here. I feel like there was victory and success outside of a dynamic, a family dynamic. Cups of Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, but I feel like these cups it looks like all wonderful and idyllic. I'm intuitively looking at this as empty cups you walked away from. These are people that didn't fill your cup. These are people that drained your cups. And it could be even children now. Now, I'm not talking about very young children here. So don't get it twisted. Saying let's make a mass exodus out of families. You could be an emperor and the empress. This is an emperor and an empress. Now, people could say, okay, this is a family dynamic because it's the Hierophant is here, the empress, the emperor. But I am going to be looking at this as maybe you thought this person was your emperor to your empress. You had a family with this person. The empress is always like fertile, right? Pregnant. Hierophant is traditional values. You married this person thinking they were the emperor. In fact, you were the emperor and the empress. Okay? You were the one. But you elevated this person to an empress status, and that is not what they were. Now, I have all these cards in the upright, so it could be distorted, but I feel like that's what happened here. Because the tower's here. Right afterwards, the tower came, and it destroyed this connection. The tower came down on this relationship, or even the tower came down on your, what's it called, idea about family and marriage, or this whole situation came crashing down on you because it wasn't real. It was an illusion you created. You elevated this person to a status, put them on a pedestal that they didn't deserve, because you were the star. Four of Pentacles. You were the one that was successful. You were the one that was pulling the weight in this relationship. They could have been the King of Wands. Scorpio, yeah. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But see, this is what I'm saying. They weren't an emperor. You used your intuition. Intuitive Kev is here. And you're realizing the devil's here as well right afterwards. So that this person had toxic ways, controlling ways, addictions that you probably weren't aware of, or that you thought they had dealt with throughout the relationship, but they were controlling of you. Maybe even lowering you to think that you were less than they were. The Hangman's in reverse. So there's an ending to the stagnation of this connection. You could have been in a relationship, a marriage, a commitment with this person for a long damn time. And this person was controlling your success, or controlling the path forward to your success, because you were going to be a star. Okay, it's in the cards here, right? You were going to be a star here. The Four of Pentacles. But they stopped that. They got in the way of it. They stepped in the way, and you didn't use your intuition. You couldn't see the toxic ways. It was clearly there, though, if you wanted to be honest. 10 of Pentacles is here. Okay, your 10 of Pentacles is here. But what happened? You had to walk away from this situation in order for you to have abundance. You could have been attached to this person's karmic lessons. You could have been a part of that. When you attach yourself to a person who's toxic, the devil energy, they have addictions, they have controlling ways, you're stunted. And you're also, not only are you stunted, but you're also going to deal with the backlash of their karmic, cesspool, whatever bullshit that they're going through. You're going to be, you're thrown in the mix. And now you're suffering. You're financially in lack. You have the 10 of Pentacles here. Now those things are being subtracted because this person is draining that, or the karma is draining that from your life. It was a lesson. This person was an emotional manipulator, and it's in the reverse. They had your heart in lock, tied down, thought you would never leave. 10 of Wands, they were ensuring that you would never leave. 10 of Wands, stuck, trapped. But this was a false person that you couldn't see. Maybe a double-edged sword here. One way in public, another way at home. That type of person. 6 of Wands, but through the pain and the sadness, tears are rolling down the eyes in this picture. You were always the one. You were always the victorious one. You didn't see that in yourself. You're working hard towards something, 8 of Pentacles, that's going to have success. But you were trying to work hard and be successful in this connection. But this is divine partner in the reverse. They were never your partner. You elevated this person to that status that they didn't deserve. And maybe they knew that. And they felt like if they could lower you to their level, they could control you, because they could see that star quality in you. It's kind of funny how when a person admires something about you, all of a sudden they start, when they get in a relationship with you, ever notice that? All of a sudden they start complaining about it. Those attributes that they thought was so good, the confidence, the sexiness, the way you dressed, the way you looked, all of a sudden they're like, why do you have to dress like that? Or they'll start downgrading you. Oh, you're looking a little chubby, or, you're not all that. They'll make you feel less. All of a sudden they start taking that away. You ever notice that people like that? Seven of Pentacles. You were working hard for something and they were taking it. This was your success, your hard work, your effort. You put a lot of effort and energy into this connection. But Two of Swords, through the heartbreak, you had to make a decision, a choice. And I feel like you went towards a King of Pentacles. Now, even if that hasn't happened yet, like past, present, or future energy, there is going to be a King of Pentacles that has got their shit together that is going to come towards you. And you're going to have to make a decision between past and present, because the past person hasn't gone away yet in this reading. Three of Wands. You're going to have to take a stand to start something new. Stand up for yourself and make a decision as to what you want to do. There's innocence here, so you could have children with this person, or the other person could have children. But I feel like the innocence in this connection are children, and they also were against you. Five of Wands is here. This was a battle royale. There was a lot of conflict in this relationship. There was a lot of conflict in this family. Nine of Wands is here as well. So, I mean, you were busted up. You were busted up. And legal issues, they also put in your path. Could have been custody, could have been lying on you, saying that you were abusing them through the court systems, or something got investigated about the family, because there's an ending here. Death is here. These people were obsessed with throwing roadblocks in your path, probably trying to get you to not leave. But it was a relentless barrage. Eight of Wands is here, of just missiles being thrown in your direction. That's why, that's why you look so busted up, but still standing, man. You've been through shit. Nine of Wands. You might have been praying. White magic is here for a change in the family, change in the connection. Maybe not a change in your address, but to just be understood. To just make whatever bad luck you thought you were having in life to stop. You didn't realize this was all going on. Six of Pentacles. You were very generous. So I say, you were very generous to this family, very generous towards your kids, but they were secrets and lies. Secrets and lies that you didn't see, underhanded stuff that was going on behind your back. Page of Wands. And it's younger energies that were contributing to it. Page of Wands, there could be communication, though, coming towards you about this situation. Nine of Swords, it left you so confused and abused. You didn't know where you were coming or going. I feel like that was the point, to keep you dizzy, man, to just keep you in a state of inactivity, not going towards your dreams, not even thinking that you were worthy of that. The moon, it was an illusion placed in front of you so that you wouldn't see a happy future for yourself. You thought this was all there was. You just got to put up with it, right? But divine guidance came. I feel like your ancestors or the divine himself came and took you out of that situation. Justice is here. I mean, they wanted to leave you with nothing. Maybe you started out, you left a situation, you didn't take everything with you, you left. Five of Pentacles. Maybe that's what they wanted. There was hidden enemies here. Yeah, hidden enemies in the background. It could have been your own children, it could have been your own family, your ex. Up in the clouds, they wanted you to not see what was happening, what was going on here. That there was Nine of Pentacles that they could have been taking from you. It left your heart broken. Three of Swords is here, that's for sure. The Seven of Cups is here. You had to fill your own cups. You really did. This took a lot of healing and time, and if it hasn't fully happened yet, it's going to happen. Let's go into a little bit more. My cards, see what happened here. Spirit, give me a little bit more information. I feel like the children blamed you for this situation because of the ex, father or mother, that they were bad mouthing you, and you maybe didn't realize that that was happening. You didn't realize it, but that was going on. And it was like there was a misunderstanding about you to the kids, and they contributed to the stress in the family. They contributed to your downfall, possibly being the ones that called legal services on you, saying stuff about you. Yeah. What we got here? You changed me. Yeah. Something changed here. Somebody's saying you changed me. Maybe they felt you changed. Yeah, and then you just changed the connection or walked away from the connection. I feel like you didn't have a choice. Somebody's being changed. Somebody needed to change. I feel like it started with you. But you're irreplaceable. It's on the floor, but you're irreplaceable. A parent is irreplaceable in a connection. You had to take yourself out of the situation though, and it killed you inside to do it because of the not only your own feelings about it, but also societal norms. You don't leave a family, right? If it's a parent, if it's a mother, you don't leave your kids. It's like, but there was something here where you were divinely guided out of that situation because you had no damn choice. They were going to put you under. It was going to finish you off. And that was the plan, man. There was a lot of hate in this situation. Yep. There's financial abundance for you, though. You may have had to work your way towards that, lost everything, but in the end, you're going to gain from this. This was a foolish choice that they made, but you had to walk away from it. Yeah, foolish choices is here. Foolish games, really. It's terrible. But it started with these people just not understanding what you were about, which I feel like you've had to deal with your whole life, if you want to be honest. A lot of people didn't understand you. This was a reckless decision to try to take you out of the situation, and a lot of pride. Yep, pride to control. This person, your ex, was doing something underhanded, even trying to get the kids on their side. It won't be easy, but I feel like in the end it's going to be, it wasn't easy moving away from these people, but I feel like in the end you're going to be better for it. And I'm not recommending it at all. I'm not saying that. I'm reading an energy that already did it or is going to do it, but I'm not saying one way or another whether you should do it or not. Everybody has free will. You're different from the rest. And that's something that you have always been. Maybe people couldn't define it. Maybe they felt you were difficult, you were too much. But I feel like you have gifts. And these gifts have been attacked on a spiritual level your whole life. And you thought it was just bad luck, but it's an attack on you, not just your character, but trying to make people, it's like the devil painting a picture about you to try to diminish you and try to get you off your path. And he has used many people in your life, including family, to do it. Broken marriage is here. So your marriage, if that was your commitment, it's done. Yeah. Going nowhere. That might be what these people feel like now that you're gone. That you're going nowhere. They wanted you to go nowhere. But that's what's happening to them. It's like almost like a return to sender. Your ancestors, the divine, just whatever bad magic, evil eyes, whatever they were wishing on you is coming back on them. This is stubborn energy. I wish I could take back my words. Now, this could be the ex, but this is also could be your children. And that's going to be, whether they say it outwardly or not, this is how they feel. Yeah, it was a very tiring energy, but there's victory here. They really pushed your buttons, man. They really pushed you too far, is what I'm hearing. Heartbreak, yeah, Three of Swords. The heartbreak is here, no doubt. But it awakened you spiritually to your path. So if not anything, it just helped you in life. But it really didn't help them at all. Conquering demons. This is something that you've been trying to do. You've been on this quest ever since you were put on this earth, even before you were born. They have been trying, in the wound and outside of it, you've been fighting demons. Whether it's inner demons of self-doubt, I would say, and hate of yourself because of what other people have projected on you. But I feel like it's demonic in the sense of you've been conquering and fighting demons your whole life. This has been nothing new for you. People walking away from you, rejection, heartbreak. But freedom is here. So you've gained freedom and intuition. I feel like you've been through the fire, so you know what it feels like to be burned. You're not, this doesn't surprise you when you meet people like similar alchemies. It's like your whole life people have been very similar, very mistrustful of you, very guarded against you, and sometimes very hateful towards you. And you've just brushed it off as something that you might have done. You've like almost as an empath taken it on yourself, but it's really their projection. It has nothing to do with you. It's their own inner feelings of doubt and insecurities that creates this. But it's fostered by a very demonic element that's in the background. But I feel like if it's your children, they need help. They need help. And I feel like they may have gone through something in this dynamic. If your person was controlling, if your person was miserable to you, if your person was in that devil energy, all the family was affected by that. So if they have to express themselves, therapy, allow them to say it. Allow them to say it. Because that's the only way to heal, is through tears, time, and just being honest. Opening up that wound, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much it hurts hearing what they have to say to you, and then letting it go. Because I feel like there's going to be a happy outcome. I feel like you're going to be honest. And even if you have to apologize for some of the things you might have done, be real about it. We all contribute to the negative aspects of our families, whether we realize it or not. You may have been under attack, but you've also fought a fight against yourself and others. And maybe you're very honest and cutting. And that can really damage people, especially children that don't understand. If you've been very cutthroat in a lot of ways, in the way you've spoken to people. Maybe you felt under attack by them, so you attacked in kind. But these were kids that they were innocent in the beginning, right? Unknowingly, they were very influenced by the surroundings, and maybe they're trying to fight for a place in your life, but also fight to survive the toxicity in that family. Let's be real, Don't let me go. So I feel like they want you to stay. These kids don't want you to leave their life, even if they did call the services on you and said something that wasn't true, or maybe that was their perception of it. They still don't want you to leave their life completely. You could still have a relationship with them. They weren't ready for you to walk away. Maybe they didn't think that you would walk away. I know your ex didn't. It wounded their ego, but they needed that change. They needed that ego death because they thought too much of themselves. There was harsh words said in the family, maybe towards children as well as towards the ex, or vice versa. Yeah, this is a deep bond that you have with your children. You carry them, if you're the female, under your heart. A husband, any investment that you had in taking care of children, you create this bond. Yeah, you were married to this person. Says it again. But this is a karmic lesson, generational karma. So this is something that's going on in your family generationally, that you're breaking the chains. Children is here again. So children were affected. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe they felt you got no time for them. Yeah, they feel like that. That's what's saying in the original cards, that you're glowing and you're moving on, and they're like stuck. But they also created a mess in that family that they have to pay for too. Yeah, because I don't think that they're young children here. I think they're a little older and they should have known better, right? What they said about you wasn't true, but it was their projection. They were controlling a situation too. There's a lot of control in this family. There's no closure. Maybe they feel like there was no closure. You just walked away, retreated, right? Left. Yeah, and then that wasn't ready again, says it. It wasn't ready. This was a very, very hurtful, very heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. I can see how many tears you cried for this. A lot of grief, yeah, grief. But it was divinely guided out because it was destroying maybe even the idea of any reconciliation. That's how bad it was getting, and you had to go. Spirit, give me some more confirmation of this. But I feel like if you can be honest, get some help for your kids as well as for yourself, I feel like there could be a reconciliation and understanding, a truce, if you will, because they love you. But they were a product of this toxic environment too, and they were being controlled as well. Spirit, do you have any other messages here? But I feel like you using your intuition, you getting out of this situation is going to generationally help these children to break that cycle and not keep, pouring into it. Ancestors, yeah, your ancestors, you are changing the game here for everybody. Ancestrally, maybe this was something that you had to face in your family where they had these cycles, these continuous cycles of toxicities and staying in relationships that didn't work and just fighting and the kids being involved and then it just keeps carrying on generationally. I think you're breaking that curse. You opened your eyes to what was happening here. Yeah. I think that it will happen in the best way is saying that this reconciliation or the changes that that are happening in your family is going to turn out to be really better for everybody. That you're breaking the cycle here by not entertaining the situation anymore, by walking away from a very toxic environment. That maybe you left them behind, these children, these older children, but I feel like it's going to teach them something too about your resilience and your strength, as well as maybe change the dynamic in the family. It definitely broke the toxic cycle of verbally abusing and controlling. Definitely. Yeah. Saying no. Saying no, that you can't do everything, that you have to be strong, and just you were probably the breadwinner in that family. You were doing everything for them. And sometimes you're just going to say no, because I think that you gave so much to this connection. You gave so much to these children. It was breaking you down mentally. It was breaking you down financially, especially the ex too. I feel like you were doing so much and you were getting absolutely no credit, and all they were doing was bad mouthing you and blaming you for everything. It was just a total blame game, and the ex had a lot to do with them feeling that way as well, because maybe you were the breadwinner, and if they didn't have the money, oh, that's your mother's fault, or that's your father's fault. He's being cheap, and they were saying bad things about you. I don't have the money. Go ask the one that has it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That just contributes to a very toxic and really misunderstanding in a family. It's lousy. All right, Psalms 3:3. You, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high. And lift your head up high, because this was not an easy situation. And maybe there is understandings between you and your children, but I feel like they're going to be ironed out with time. But the Lord took you out of that situation, like he did with Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, held your hand and said, let's go, because this would have decimated you. This would have put you under. You would have never been able to survive this. And when it got too much, that's when you had to get out. Now, these children are there, but there's a lesson to be learned. There's a lesson to be learned in understanding you, understanding what they were contributing to the toxicity as well, and realizing that you weren't the devil. You were the one that was actually keeping this together. They're going to see the difference. When you walk away, this place is going to implode behind you. All right, the last one I have, I love this one. 1 John 4:12. No one has ever seen God. Amen. But if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. Amen. We are the image of God. We are made in the image of God. We don't see God, but we know by faith, right? Faith is the assured expectations of things unseen, that he exists. And his attributes, his qualities exist within us. And the biggest one being love. We can show love to one another, and it doesn't make us weak. So many people have that, get it twisted and feel like if you show love, especially if you're a man, then that means you're a weak person. Or you only give love when you want something like sex. But love is in us, it exists in us. And the only way that we can truly be free of any of the nonsense that was shown us as children, maybe we were brought up like that in abusive environments, is to give love to others, to sacrifice for another person, and to apologize, because maybe we never had that closure where somebody apologized to us after they hurt us. That's being a real man or woman, standing up and saying, I'm a mother or father, but I apologize if I do something wrong. I admit that I'm not perfect. Start with that, because we have those qualities. God wants us to be loving to one another. If there was more kindness in the world, there'd be less violence and less hate and more understanding. We need to start within our own families to break the chains. If we want our children to grow up in a world that is loving and kind and really different than it is today, with the prejudice, the violence, and the me first attitude, and the corruption. If we want change, change starts in our homes. Change starts within our hearts, in our minds, first off, because we can't change other people, right? We can only change ourselves. But we can influence our children in our homes to have that mindset, the mind of Christ, to be loving, kind, giving. It starts within ourselves, and then it trickles down to our children and how we are an example to them. They see how we talk, we walk the walk, we talk the talk. And then also, we're living examples to our children, right? How we treat them, they go on to treat other people. And if we screw up and we say something we don't mean, own up to it and apologize. Start there. And I'm telling you right now, the world will be a different place if each and every one of us do that within ourselves in our own homes. Try it. You might be surprised of how that changes a lot going forward. Thank you so much for joining me on Empress Aries 888. Please like and subscribe and join my tribe because I would love to have you. Till next time, be safe out there, my friends. Be blessed.